Well, hello there. Welcome to the Obi-Thorn Alliance. And in today's live stream, we're discussing Marvel announcing casting for Doctor Doomsday. So, do you like who they have cast in the movie? And they've left out some members as well.
So I guess the biggest part is, which we've known for quite a while now, is Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
returning in what I'm assuming is he is just a different person. We just assume it's a different actor. It's not the same person. And in this variation of him, he is Victor Von Doom, opposed to being Iron Man. So he's gone from being like the ultimate hero to the ultimate villain in a sense.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Do you think that's a good choice, or should we just get a new actor?
When it comes to nostalgia and getting if they write it well and it goes well, it'll be amazing. But if it doesn't go well, they just have using it because of his name.
Yeah, it's one of those things they're saying, well, Robert Downey Jr. was so important to reviving the MCU that we need him, but he was Iron Man. People liked him as Iron Man. You can't just chuck him in as someone else and think that people are going to go, oh, well, because it's not really about Robert Downey Jr. It's about the character and the way he portrayed it. So whether it'll have the same effect, it might deter people. People might go, well, this is silly. I don't want to see him play another character. I don't know. Does this now open up the opportunity? Because remember, ages ago it was rumored that Tom Cruise might be a variation of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Do we now bring that in so we can get Iron Man back in? Oh, no, there's so much. So that's an iffy casting. But back to your original question of who they've announced are going to be in it. So a very ensemble-heavy cast.
Yeah.
We've got a mix of, old classics coming back. So we've got some people from the original X-Men that was over 24 years ago, I think that movie came out.
Yeah.
So from that, who have we got returning from the original cast of the X-Men film?
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Yeah, so that is Magneto and Dr. X?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got
Charles, yes.
I think I saw maybe they'll bring in Cyclops and a few of the originals, maybe not Halle Berry's Storm. I don't think I saw her announced, but they're bringing back the old faithfuls from there. That's cool, but then we've also got kind of the staples that we've been ruling the MCU for a while, such as Chris Hemsworth. We haven't seen Pedro Pascal yet in the MCU, but he's in everything at the moment and killing it, so it would only make sense for him to be in there. Plus, if he's going to be the arch nemesis of Victor Von Doom, it's essential that he's there.
Yes.
But then some of the others I saw was like, malfunction live.
Oh, no.
Fix this up. Okay. Yes, some of the others I saw, for instance, were like Shang-Chi, and it's like, it's a bit of an iffy superhero. It wasn't my favorite movie. So it seems that they're probably chucking a few of the like B-list superheroes and trying to mask it up with some of the old faithful or nostalgic characters. So it's an interesting mix. I don't see how exactly it might work, but I'm confident it'll be a pretty decent movie. They've pump the brakes on how many movies they're pumping out per year and try to focus more on quality, which has not worked so far.
No, it hasn't.
But maybe this one might be the one. Maybe they've kind of pushed out 2 okay movies ready for the big one.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? The casting and the mixing of as I said, you got a few B-listers, and then we've also got the old and nostalgic characters coming back.
Yeah, it's interesting because we also got the Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, X-Men, but we haven't got Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, so I guess we'll see them in Secret Wars.
Yeah. Do you think going too heavy on the ensemble cast of the cameos is a good or a bad thing?
Depends if it's done well. If it's done well, it works. If it's not done well, it's just there for the sake of it.
What would be your difference? What would you consider being done well?
In Spider-Man No Way Home.
I guess because they became kind of 4 main characters in a way, and
yeah,
we got the scene that everyone been waiting for, and then what would be an example of it not being done well?
probably Deadpool in the first Wolverine movie.
Yeah, just chucking someone in for the sake of it. Because
Yes.
I hope that's not the case. It's just like, oh, they go around the corner and, oh, here's another hero. Here's another hero. Like, there's got to be a reason, I think, for the team up, and they've got to add value opposed to just being there.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thought of it. So what did we find out? The plot, it says it's going to be the final incursion of Earth 616, which will feature some divergence from the X-Men universe. So you mentioned that we're going to have Dr. Xavier, and then we're going to have Magneto. So I'm guessing, are they meant to be in the same Earth as kind of the characters we've been seeing throughout the MCU, or are they going to cross over somehow through some kind of cosmic glitch, or, you know, being able to swap between the multiverses?
I guess crossover.
Yeah, because they've got to try and find a way to explain, like, why we'd never seen the X-Men crossover before if they were always there. We know the answer is because of the Sony, Disney, or Marvel sell-off, but, you know, they've got to try and explain inside their world. As you told me recently, that the whole Fantastic Four thing, it's because they're in a different variation of Earth. Yeah. That's why we haven't seen them. Because I was questioning, why wouldn't we have seen them before? Why have they not crossed over?
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to get the same thing. You wanted to talk about whether you... what was the question again?
Excitement level for the characters and casting.
Yeah, and you're going to say which character you excited to see the most?
Loki.
And what's your reasoning for wanting to see Loki?
Just to see what they're going to do with him being basically the main one of all the timelines, just seeing how his storyline is going to be, and it will be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. That didn't cross my mind until you told me before that that's what your thought was, that, you know, we were left at the end of Loki season 2 thinking like he is the one. He's like the most important character now in the MCU. So seeing how that ties in. So I'm going to jump on the same bandwagon as you. Before that, I was thinking maybe how Pedro Pascal works. But we're about to see a whole movie with him in it. So, you know, maybe it's not going to be that exciting, or there won't be that much left to the imagination, because I'm assuming at the end of Fantastic Four, we're going to be left with an end trailer scene that, you know, reveals Dr. Von Doom, and that's how it's going to tie into the next Avengers movie. So those answers will kind of be given to us when that movie comes out. Do you think this direction is better or worse than the Kane Dynasty? As we know what happened with the Kane Dynasty, and we've talked about it, due to personal reasons happened to the main actor. Do you like this idea better, or would you like to see the Kane Dynasty play out?
I think if this works, this has potential, but I think the Kane Dynasty with all the Spider-Man together, and I think that had potential as well, but I didn't mind Kane. I think Kane was awesome in Loki, but unfortunately didn't work in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But I think if you've seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you know he's actually a really cool villain.
Yeah, I was very excited about Kang and what they were building there. I really question how they take on someone that is essentially seeing everything that's already happened and can predict everyone's move. So I'm hoping that they can do something cool with Dr. Victor Von Doom. Through a bit of research, we worked out that he is meant to be extremely smart, considered, growing up watching the MCU, I thought that, you know, Tony Stark was the smartest, but obviously, supposedly he's not even in the same realm as we're looking at Mr. Fantastic. But then Victor Von Doom and him are kind of
equal. Yeah,
they're kind of equals and seen as rivals because of their intellect and them going to the same university or whatnot, depending on what variation of the comics you read. So I'm intrigued to see how he can use his smarts to be able to do all these things. It's very similar to Kang. I question how Kang was so powerful, but we basically worked out that he was able to create time machines and able to swap between multiverses, and then through that he could acquire technology and information which could then continually make himself powerful. So
I'll be back. I just got to get my clothes.
No worries.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to rain.
Yes, it's going to rain. So Jacob's going to move these things. So as I was saying, from my interpretation, that the MCU seem to have this idea that heroes, that villains and the most powerful heroes tend to be more so not born with powers, but more acquire them through their smarts. So Tony Stark obviously is not invincible or super strong. He could create suits. We've got the Fantastic Four who do acquire powers, but it's kind of through a mistake, but due to their smarts and intellect to get there. And then we've got the same with Kang and Victor Von Doom. So it's an interesting process that they go through. I'm just going to pause the live stream and wait till Jacob comes back. So see you in a minute, guys. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So we're talking about the Kane Dynasty.
Yes.
What you thought was better or worse. We went into about what we know about Victor Von Doom. What are you expecting this movie to be about?
Doomsday.
Yeah.
I would assume it will be like Infinity Wars. It'll be mainly about Victor Von Doom, and the Avengers will actually be the bad guys, and it'll make out he's the hero of his own journey.
Okay. Do you think we're going to get this in several parts, or, will he get introduced here? They'll go off and have a couple of solo movies or semi-team up movies and then come back and do, like an Endgame style thing again?
Yeah, I think he'll be teased in Fantastic Four, and we'll see him in his own movie in Doomsday with the Avengers.
But do you think that they're going to, defeat him and that'll be the end of him in that movie, or they're going to draw it out for a bit?
He'll win like with Thanos did in Infinity Wars. He'll win in Doomsday, and then Avengers will win in Secret Wars.
Are they still keeping the Avengers, do you think, in their normal form, minus, we don't have Tony Stark anymore and we don't have Chris Evans Captain America? Are they replenishing them? Does Falcon or new Captain America, is he an Avenger now?
I believe so.
And then is Black Widow continuing on, or we only because she's dead? Yeah, so then what is the Avengers anymore?
I guess we'll see.
Oh, so it hasn't been revealed what the new form of the Avengers will be?
I believe it has, but we don't know who the leader is yet.
Okay, who do you think would form the Avengers?
Probably Captain America.
Who else would be in it, do you think?
We
got Thanos. Thor is still around.
Yeah, Thor. Doctor Strange, but he hasn't been cast in it. Shang-Chi, Black Panther, mostly those characters.
It's hard to think what would, with the characters that are left, what will form your Avengers. Who would you put if you can have 5 people to make up your Avengers squad?
Thor, Captain America, Moon Knight, and I would have Loki, but he's gone somewhere. I would have Loki and guess Captain Marvel.
Do Do we still have? Is there still an Ironheart movie coming out? Are they making?
I believe a show, but it might have got cancelled.
Because Ironheart, who was that meant to? Oh, that was meant to be that like a girl that basically she becomes like the new Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, we've got a question.
How's it going, guys? Hey, Travis, we're going
Hello.
quite well. We're just discussing what's going on with the Doomsday and the announcements, and we're trying to form our what we think or what would be our best Avengers based upon who's left. So, if I was to maybe comment what you think your Avengers list would be, I'm thinking, I guess I'd have to put in the new Captain America. Whether I like him a whole lot, he's all right, but I'll add him. Whilst there's a Captain America around, we've got to have him. Captain Marvel's a no-brainer. She provides a lot of power.
Yes.
Thor, because he was already there. I'm not going to replace him whilst he's still a character. Not going to add the new Falcon because then we have two people that are very similar. I don't think Miss Marvel's a very important character. Oh, Hulk would still remain there. Not going to add She-Hulk because then two Hulks is a bit silly.
It is, yeah.
I'm not saying it wouldn't work. It's just, if they're not going to do that. You're going to make a team variety. I wouldn't waste my time saying Chi. Who else am I missing? So what, Black Panther, we're left with the sister.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that offers that much. Yeah, okay, we'll add her. So I'm at 4, one more. I'm not going to bother adding American Chavez. We need someone who can jump through the different universes instantly. Okay, that makes sense. She was teased, or we saw her in
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's right.
Into the multiverses.
Seen her in anything else, have we? They kind of like teased her, then moved away from that project. Maybe they got something in the back. Yeah, that could be quite useful. Like, besides being able to swap through the multiverses, she doesn't have any powers, does she?
No.
But yeah, that could be useful. Okay, I'll take your advice. I'm going to add that. That's my 5th. How excited are you for this movie, Jacob?
Doomsday out of 10, probably 8. What about yourself?
I am excited. It's hard to put a gauge on it with such little information. So I'm going to sit on the fence and go like a 6, mainly because the last few projects from Marvel have disappointed me, if I'm going to be honest. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. But do I think it's going to be good? Questionable. So I'm going to go a 6 out of 10.
What about yourself, Travis?
Travis might take a while to get back. So anything else you want to talk about with this Avengers Doomsday announcement? Is there anything you want me to look up to move the discussion forward, or is there some other topic you're going to go into?
Maybe we can look up what the wait time between Doomsday and Secret Wars, I think, would be interesting to know.
Are you more excited for Secret Wars or more excited for Doomsday?
Probably Doomsday, because it'll be about Victor Von Doom. Well, I find the villain actually more interesting than the heroes.
So Secret Wars is going to carry on from Secret Invasion, the show?
From Doomsday.
With Tom Holland not announced, they spectate the spell of people forgetting he creates a hole in Doom's plan and he shows up unexpectedly. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Thinking about it, when I formed my list, I probably would have put Spider-Man in. I know he's not cast, but I guess we're theoretically saying out of those that are available, if we were to make our own. So, yeah, Spider-Man would be quite useful. So I'm probably more looking forward to Secret War because I thought the premise of Secret Invasion was really cool. I still do. I don't think the show completely hit the mark.
No, it didn't.
But the premise is still there that there's these people that aren't who they say. They look like someone they're not meant to be, and they can basically infiltrate like politics, and then through that create a war. I think is much cooler than some of the other plot lines we've had.
Yeah,
I think I like it when the plot lines of superhero movies are about something political or real life, opposed to aliens and people come from another planet. And I think that's why Captain America Brave New World missed the mark, because I think it was going along that lines and had a lot of potential to be great, but I think kind of giving away every little detail about it in a trailer kind of annoyed me. It'd be interesting if the Avengers are all from different times. We'd find out some of our characters arrives on Battlewood right after they were snapped. That'd be cool, yeah, if we borrowed Avengers from different multiverses, kind of similar to What If. With What If, what they did was, combining people from different multiverses or different scenarios. Yeah, I'd like that. In the 80s show, the characters from Secret Wars are after it happened, so it could work. Okay. I just think the secret invasion, the idea of the Skrulls, I think is really, really cool. I've enjoyed that, the thought of that plot line more so than a lot of the other story arcs have gone with Marvel. Just unfortunately, the projects they've featured in haven't been great. I did like Captain Marvel though, but Secret Invasion was a letdown in my opinion. I think they kind of fizzled out, and the fight scene at the end was a bit of a disappointment.
So do you want the Skrulls to help Doctor Doom if they're in it, or kind of be separate? Because Doom's the main villain. If you have the Skrulls, how would you want them to be involved in the plot?
I guess I was imagining they were separate. Mm-hmm. Like maybe after Von Doom's finished, or whilst he's doing his thing, because I'm imagining he's kind of fighting more on a
galactic level.
Yeah, or like across multiverses where the Skrulls are kind of unique to, well, not unique, but we're just dealing with them on Earth 616, and they're just trying to infiltrate Earths because they want somewhere to bring their people over from their planet, which got taken over by who took over the Skrulls planet?
The Kree.
The Kree, that's the one. Travis said, Rhodey learning his face was being used by a Skrull for God knows how long, now seeing his best friend's face on someone else who would make him and Doom conflict more personal. Okay. Yeah, I agree. That could be quite cool. So excitement levels, you're going an 8.
Yeah.
I'm going a 6 on the fence. Looking forward to it, just not expecting it to hit the mark. I've kind of lost my faith in Marvel of late, mainly due to some of the projects they've decided to go with, and the ones that they've decided to abandon. It's been a bit disappointing for me. Anything else on this topic?
What was the release date from Doomsday to Secret Invasion?
Okay, so Doomsday we know is going to be May 1, 2026, so a year and a bit away. So we want to look at Secret Wars release date. It's saying the 7th of May 2027, so a year later.
Okay.
Right, let's look. What phase are we in now?
Phase 5, I believe.
Okay, so let's have a look in phase 5. This will be useful to help out.
The Thunderbolts is the next movie.
Yeah, so Thunderbolts is the end of phase 5. Yeah. So you said phase 6 was Ironheart was meant to come out in fall 2023. And Blade as well, that didn't happen.
Don't know what's going on with Blade.
I think we're seeing alternate Thanos come in to help to lead the new people. That'd be cool. May as well look up also here what happened to Ironheart.
Don't know if it's gotten cancelled or not.
Okay. Is scheduled to premiere on Disney on June 24, 2025, and will consist of 6 episodes. So it just got delayed, 2 years?
I guess so.
So it's still coming. That's interesting. So maybe Ironheart helps out in some way.
What's your excitement level for Ironheart?
I must say I don't know a whole lot about it besides her character being introduced and
Black Panther.
Yeah, and she's very, very good at building stuff. So I'm hoping she's going to build like Iron Man-esque suits. So I think it'll be cool though. I think that I do like the mini series or the potential of mini series. What else was on there? We said Blade. What happened to Blade?
It's I think in development, like different direction.
Is it going to be a movie?
Yeah.
Marvel's Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali has been delayed and removed from its 2025 release date. With no release date yet, though Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige insists the project is still a priority. So it's going to happen. Fury needs an Iron Man suit with one eye. Iron Fury just sounds cool. Sure. Okay. Oh, we want to look at Phase 6 then. Phase 6 MCU. So we've got Fantastic Four coming out this year, Doomsday the following year. So there's nothing in between that. So they bring out a movie. So Doomsday comes out about 6 months later. Oh, wait. No. The 25th of the 7th and the 1st of the May. So, yeah. So it's like just under 12 months later. I'm looking at the dates. They're American, so they're back to front. Then we got a Spider-Man 4. Heard things about that. They're saying that like an MJ is being introduced, even though we have MJ, but it's not Mary Jane, like not the same MJ. I don't know, because you know how like the other ones have got MJ with the red hair, and that's like his love interest. But then there's Zedaya's character. Is she also called MJ? It's like a different MJ. I don't know. Blade. It's saying potentially next year. Avengers Secret War, and then Doctor Strange 3. So I guess that's why we're not seeing Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I'd have to think that Doctor Strange 3 probably ties very heavily into Doomsday.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get Doomsday introduced, or Dr. Von Doom. The Spider-Man might kind of introduce that. Blade would probably be a separate project. Avengers Secret War will be parallel. And then Doctor Strange might either link the two or be the final kind of bit. Avengers Doomsday before we see maybe a final Avengers. That's a bit disappointing. We're only going to see. We became accustomed to seeing several movies a year to now seeing almost one a year, 2 if we're lucky. Thoughts on that? Do you like that idea? Are we better off seeing quality over quantity? Are we actually seeing quality over quantity?
I'm looking forward to whatever comes out. I think Deadpool Wolverine was fun, and that was the only movie that came out last year. And so far, Captain America Brave New World wasn't that good, but the Thunderbolts look interesting.
Yeah, I think they kind of had to go that direction, though, because they were... if they kept bringing out movies at the rate they were, they would have sent themselves bankrupt real quick.
Yeah.
They're expensive to make. Movies aren't making as much money as they were. And you also run the risk of people going, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are probably caught up now with the MCU and now, you know, only have to commit to maximum 2 movies a year. It's a pretty easy schedule to stick to.
Yes, it is.
Anything else on the MCU you want to talk about?
What is the main movie that you're looking forward to watching out of all of them?
Out of all those ones listed?
Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man's probably the easy pick. You'd get to be disappointed by a Spider-Man movie. Maybe I'll look up some information on the Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 4. Untitled Spider-Man movie. This is going to be 4. Is it coming? What do we know about it? 3 days ago. I speculate Taskmaster in the Thunderbolts is actually Nat and Yelena's mum, hence why we don't see their face and why it's only family members not in the movie. Yeah.
Very good point.
So, new information, rumors about Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland has emerged. Holland will reprise his role as Peter Parker for the 4th movie to be released July 2026. Sadie Sink will star in the movie, though it has not been officially confirmed who she is playing. So that was the person I heard some rumor about being another MJ. On March the 26th, 2025, Marvel revealed the cast for Avengers Doomsday, Holland's name notable missing. What's the latest? According to Schneider, Holland's likely won't be in Avengers Doomsday because he'll be filming Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey at the same time. I did hear about that. He was very excited to be cast in this Christopher Nolan movie and felt that it was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which is fair enough. Spider-Man is kind of a guaranteed moneymaker, but I guess if you want to prove yourself as an actor, it's worth doing other roles. So that makes a lot of sense. The official plot details of both Avengers Doomsday Spider-Man remain under wraps. We've seen MCU and Fox Universe cast included. Which Sony Marvel characters would you like to see brought in?
Probably Venom.
I would have liked to seen a way to cross those over, but I don't really know if I like this Tom Hardy kind of good Venom. I actually would like to see a villain Venom. So maybe we transition him out of being that kind of anti-hero to becoming a full-on villain. I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. That'd be cool to see crossover.
Well, who would you like to see?
I think having the redeemed villains from No Way Home come back and help Spider-Man. I like that, how they went with that storyline, and then ultimately Green Goblin kind of double-crossed him. But I think that was a very cool plot line, because a lot of Spider-Man's villains are kind of not bad people. They're just good people that got put in bad situations or did bad things for good reasons in a way. Like Sandman was trying to help his daughter and got caught in a situation. Doc Ock was, trying to create infinite power. Like he wasn't trying to create a weapon. And, so a lot of these guys were kind of good people with good intentions that kind of got led down a wrong path or something bad happened. Same with Dr. Connors. He was trying to find a way to regrow human limbs to help amputees, and then he becomes the Lizard. So I think it would be cool to see them come back. And I think Spider-Man probably has one of the most nostalgic kind of things. Yeah, for a lot of people. I think a lot of people grew up watching a version of Spider-Man or reading the comic books. Same as with X-Men, and that's why the X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Why that has been, a success, because of the nostalgia factor. Probably one of the things why people always race out to see Superman movies. I think even if they're bad, people just have this memory of, growing up liking Superman.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I was saying here, the latest rumor has Chameleon as the villain, but it won't necessarily be called Chameleon because the character appears in Kraven the Hunters. I did read about that the other day. My only knowing of the Chameleon character is through the Spider-Man games. He's kind of never the villain, but he seems to feature in it in some way. That's why when I saw him come in Kraven the Hunter, I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know, is he that dangerous of a villain? He can kind of impersonate people, which I know is very similar to what I said I liked about the Skrulls, but they're a planet of people, these one. So, yeah, that's what we saw. What are your thoughts on that? With the Chameleon coming in and being in the fourth, potentially the villain in the fourth Spider-Man.
I guess, are they going to use a different actor or same actor? It's a bit confusing, but I didn't mind him in Kraven the Hunter.
From what I've heard, I think it'll be the same person, but they might just refer to him by a different name. I don't get what the logic there is or why they can't come to some kind of agreement. I think it's very odd. Just going to grab a drink.
Okay.
Vulture remembers Peter Parker and that he saved his life, seeing Doom as a chance to finally get back at Tony Stark, recruiting Spider-Man's villain to help Spider-Man, A Spectacular 6. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess they kind of teased that idea with we introduced the vampire dude. Morbius. What a bad movie that was. But yeah, I guess there's a lot of potential with that. These villain or anti-villain team-ups. I guess we've seen success in things like Suicide Squad, to the point where they kind of redid the Suicide Squad and recast some actors. Kind of moving away from the MCU, are you more excited about these announced products or what we've got coming out of the DC?
If I got to be honest, MCU, I'm not looking forward to Superman at all.
Not looking. I know why you say that, because when we watched the trailer, it looked like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And from what we've been told, it seems like it's going to be early days Superman. So my thought was maybe they're flashbacks and we're not going to see all these characters, but it can't be early days and flashbacks. So yeah. I think that could be hit and miss.
And I don't like Superman personally compared to Batman.
Are you looking forward to the future Batman movie though?
That's kind of a separate like storyline, nothing to do with James Gunn. So when it comes to Batman 2, I think it will smash all over Superman. So yes, I am.
Yeah, I guess I probably should have said instead of universe, I should have said projects coming out. So like I would say out of all the projects we've talked about today, Batman 2 would be the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yes.
Penguin season 2, if there is such a thing coming, I'd look forward to that a lot. But yeah, I do lean more towards the DC universe products. So if I'm going to be honest, I think that I've had a lot of bad ones, but they go for darker and grittier, and I think it kind of like for me, I'm more likely to go back and watch that than some of the MCU projects.
Do you think there's any information of who the villain will be in Batman 2?
I think I heard something. It's always going to be speculation, but while the Batman Part 2 is still under wraps, rumors suggest that the main villain could be the Court of Owls, with other potential antagonists including Hush, Two-Face, and Hugo Strange. Peacemaker Season 2 is what excites me, for seeing how they transition from the DCEU to the present DCU will be interesting.
Very good point.
Totally agree. I thought Peacemaker was like a breath of fresh air. It was something funny for the MC. Sorry, for the D. I'm just going to say DC. For DC, kind of moved away from the dark and broody and made it work. Peacemaker was the perfect character for it. I might be controversial, didn't like either of the Suicide Squad projects, and that was kind of teetering on that kind of funny banterish style. But I think Peacemaker really nailed it too. I think they got us on the right track with the starting music, the intro music. I think that got people instantly going, this is the tone of this show. And even when it was somewhat silly, it still just worked. So I'm very excited to see what happens there. Even if that never ties into anything, even if it wasn't an MC product, I would still want to see that. It's just a very cool premise. So very much looking forward to that. Says, I think the Court of Owls are the villains, Batman having a go to the Riddler who already knows about them, Batman kind of realizing he was onto something. I think so. The Court of Owls obviously featured heavily in a few of the Arkham games, or especially like the last one. I think it also ties into, even though it was a bad game, the Arkham Knights. It's kind of like Batman died and disappeared, and this is kind of why, and these are all behind it. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I think also the Batman, new set of Batman we've got, Robert Pattinson, seems to be less about supernatural and more about, uncovering mysteries. Going back to the detective, because you have to remember Batman is considered the world's greatest detective. So following down that route, I think, works really well. I think the first Batman did a good job of that, where some of the others, the detectiveness was like, yeah, come on, like he's not even working this out. Where this really followed that element. So I think it would make sense to go down the route of the Court of Owls, opposed to, taking on, Killer Croc or something ridiculous. So yeah, I agree with that. What do you think, Jake?
I think the Court of Owls could be a good idea. I believe the Court of Owls was in a Batman anime movie that I watched, when they wear like helmets or stuff like that.
Yeah, look up a bit more. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on it and know that much. I've just remember them in a game. The Court of Owls breaks into Arkham to try and kill the Riddler for what he knows, Batman having to fight them, freeing some of the inmates to help. That'd be cool. So, the Court of Owls is a criminal organization and secret society appearing in the American comic books published by DC. They appear as adversaries of superhero Batman. The court is described as an organization of the wealthiest and most influential citizens of the city of Gotham, having existed since the city's founding completely unknown amongst its general population outside of an urban legend. Centered around the reputation for grisly assassinations carried out by the Indoctrinate agents known as Talons. I could be wrong, but it seems like that would tie in really well because we assume, if it's the wealthiest people, that why wouldn't Bruce Wayne be part of this? Maybe his parents are part of it. Like, we probably already know this. I'm just saying I'm not very aware of it, but it would, create a lot of speculation why, and feed on with what the Riddler was discovering, that, maybe Martha Wayne was not the best of person. Maybe she got killed. Maybe it could tie in really well into who killed Arthur and what's Batman's mum's name? Same as Superman's mum's name. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the fact that the Waynes were killed, so it could tie in really well with that. So that's cool. What else you want to talk about?
What if you had a tier list for, or with the Marvel shows, what would be like your tier list?
Oh, you mean like gold class, silver, bronze, or like A, B, C, or something like that?
Yeah.
So the best shows for me, I really, really liked
WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah. I think it's rewatchable. I think even if it doesn't tie into anything else, it's just a really cool premise. So that's top tier. Below that, I'm thinking something like, I know you didn't like it, but I found She-Hulk really entertaining. Like, I don't think it was high quality. It was just kind of entertaining. So I think that was a good show. It didn't disappoint. It didn't add a whole lot. It was just something that I could easily watch. In there, I'd probably chuck in something like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The plot could have been better, but I found that enjoyable. It felt like a movie almost. Below that, I'm thinking something like Secret Invasion that had potential but disappointed. And then right at the bottom of things like Moon Knight, I found Moon Knight completely unwatchable. I think it made no sense to even do the project if it doesn't tie into anything else, and it really added nothing. And it's set up for a potential second season, which won't ever come. It kind of was, why did we bother? So yeah, that would be for me. Obviously, there's heaps more shows that fall into that. I haven't seen Agatha all the way yet, so I don't know where that would sit. What about yourself?
Well, for me, the two standouts are Loki and WandaVision.
I forgot about Loki. Loki would be up there too. I haven't seen Daredevil. I'm sure you'd probably put the Daredevil somewhere on there, whether it's the original or the new one.
Once it finishes Daredevil Born Again, that will be up, up there. But
where do you put the original one? I know it was on Netflix, but it's still a Marvel product. Where's that sit?
That would be up there as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to Hawkeye, She-Hulk, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that would probably be not as high, but I prefer She-Hulk to mess Marvel. But sometimes I think She-Hulk and Miss Marvel to me are probably the two weaker shows. I actually like Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight had a really cool aspect of it. What ruined Moon Knight for me was how it kind of ended with the two CGI monsters going at it. But I enjoyed Moon Knight. I think that it has a decent amount of shows, but we'll be curious to see how Ironheart goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it just because it's something a little bit different. I think the female-led shows have potential and can draw in these extra audiences. I just don't think they've nailed it yet. So I'd like to see them get one right because I see where it's going. They're trying to attract a new audience. So I'm hoping that a show that I know I only saw the first season, but I thought could have been really, really good was What If. I really liked the idea of What If, it just being these random unrelated episodes, but then it went in a different direction, which for me I didn't like, others may have liked. So What If had the potential to be very, very high tier show. Moving away from that, what do you think about all this news circulating about the new Snow White movie? Have you been hearing about this and seeing it in the news? What are your thoughts?
It doesn't make me want to watch it. If I do intend to watch it, I'll probably just wait until it comes out on Disney Plus.
it's been an interesting train wreck to watch. You know, Disney, mega company, does very well at promoting themselves, and this movie kind of snuck up out of nowhere, and all the press tours done by the main actress, she kind of made everyone hate her and not want to see this movie.
Yeah.
So she's, you know, probably butchered her own career and, you know, cost the studio a lot of money. It's very, whether also the people who have seen the movie have said it's bad as well. So Disney went a different direction. But I think she put them off the scent early. I think there's some movies that can be bad, but people go buy a ticket. And as long as they buy one ticket, it helps. I think a lot of people wrote this off. For someone that watches most things Disney, I just don't even know if I even bother will. I feel like it could be a complete waste of time. For what I heard was she was going out spruiking that the plot was going to be less focused around, you know, a damsel in distress and needing a man and to help her and becoming more female empowerment, which is a cool concept. But Snow White is a very, very old tale. Do you need to change it? I understand the idea that we're becoming progressive and we're moving forward, but there's certain things that you don't need to change. Unless it was extremely racist or inappropriate, then it's fine. I think the idea of a woman needing a man to save her in this instance isn't, defamatory or inappropriate. There's a lot of women out there that still like men that, you know, want a man and would like a man to save them. So you don't, not everything has to be so woke.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things you don't need to change. Not everything needs to be changed to meet the modern society. I know that might upset some, but maybe Snow White isn't someone you would look up to. If you're, an asexual trans male to female and you're like, I can't align with Snow White, maybe that's fine. Like you don't have to align with everyone else. Maybe you find another movie where you can find a hero that you align with, because in the end it's a classic story. You can hope that people will start to write new stories that incorporate characters that look and feel like you or seem like you. Some of them are just classics. It's like if we remake Shrek, is it like inappropriate to have the gingerbread man? Does he have to be like made of something else because someone's decided that it's inappropriate to refer to something as being a ginger because it might be upset someone with red hair? There's just things we go, that's just a classic story. Like, if they ever make a movie about, the big bad wolf, can it no longer be a wolf and it can't eat the granny? Like that, some things are just classical stories.
Yeah.
I actually see this a lot when I read books with my son. For instance, the big bad wolf, the way they try and change and incorporate, like he ate the grandmother, but they don't want to put that in a kid's book, so they find ways to work around that. And you're like, this wolf ate someone, like they're not alive anymore, but that's inappropriate for a kid's book. So they find ways. So I don't think they need to change it. Think of some of the other movies where they've done this. Did you see The Little Mermaid where they changed the character?
No.
So I didn't dislike that movie. I'm not opposed to the concept of them changing it. Again, I don't even care the color of the skin of the actress. But Ariel was known for having this bright red hair. She had white skin, red hair. You could change different things about her, but that is the main thing. As again, it's like if we were to make a live action Shrek, it's like you're not going to change him from being a green ogre. Like there's certain things you like, it's fine. It is not offensive for the Little Mermaid to have red hair. Like that is the Little Mermaid. Like, do we then, when we make the Moana live remake, do we make the characters no longer Polynesian because that's offensive to, Caucasian white Americans? Like, why is that not offensive at one as the other? It's like, if that was the story, don't mess with it. I think it's very interesting when they do that.
It is.
What do you think, Jacob? What do we want to keep talking about? We're closing near the hour mark now.
What have you been watching or want to watch or is on your watch list?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been working my way through Curb Your Enthusiasm.
How's that going?
Good. I really like it. It's a really enjoyable show. At the start, it started to become a bit repetitive to eventually start to appreciate the cleverness of the writing. I know some people say, well, how are comedies clever? It's the way they link 3 or 4 things in per episode, and then they drag it out over the season. So every season tends to have some kind of theme. So, for instance, season 11, it starts off with Larry. He's at his house. Someone breaks into his house, and then whilst breaking in, they fall over in his pool and drown. Okay, so bad person, a robber, drowns. The police show up and they go, oh, it's kind of unfortunate, you know, like this person was committing a crime that drowned in your house. They go, but you didn't have a pool around your fence, so, you know, you could be in a lot of trouble. The police officer go, no, it's all right, I'll let you off this time. Just get the pool fence down. Like, this person's a criminal. Like, don't worry about it. You know, a relative of this person then contacts him and goes, hey, you know, I know what you did. You'd hate for this to go to court. You're going to get in a lot of trouble. You know, you didn't have this fence. My brother died. Even though he was a criminal, he died in your house because you didn't have a pool fence, yada, yada. I'll let this slide if you can cast my daughter in a movie or a show. She wants to be an actress. We need to put her in there. He goes, yep, okay, whatever. I'll find a way. I'll know someone. They go, oh, well, you're doing a new show. We've read the script. We think she'd be perfect for this character. So the point is, the funny part of it is, this girl is a large Latino girl. And he's making a show about Jewish people. So it doesn't make sense. So he's got to try and get her cast in the show. Each episode kind of links back to this whole overarching thing. One, she's a horrible actress. He's got to try and convince these studios, no, she's perfect, hire her, she's so good, but he can't tell them why. You know, he's trying to bribe officials at the, like politicians, to hope that they could change the rules so that you no longer need a fence, so then if he was to get sued, he wouldn't get in trouble. So it just continues with this. Probably in the middle of the season, the girl goes, I don't want to be an actress anymore, I've had enough. And he's like, yeah, great. The studio said, oh, they see this tape of her acting, and I go, she's amazing, we need her. And he goes, no, she doesn't want to be an actress anymore. It's all done, doesn't have to worry. Like, no, we called her up, we've convinced her, she's coming back. So then he's back in this predicament, and it's going through this show and different studios wanting to make it. So one, you have this overarching theme, and then each episode has their own individual themes, but then there's generally 2 or 3 storylines in each episode that intertwine in some way. And I've never seen a show do it so clever that usually you watch a sitcom and you're like, I know what joke's coming here. I know what's going to happen. This doesn't. It kind of, it's obvious if you think about it, but it catches you by surprise. So I'm really enjoying that. I can see why it's so highly rated. And it's the only show I probably like more is Always Sunny in Philadelphia in terms of sitcoms.
Okay.
Only because I think that is funnier, but this show is significantly more clever.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
Daredevil Born Again, all up to date with 6 episodes, and it is really getting up to the intensing moments of Will Fisk and Matt Murdock, and it'll be interesting to see where season 1 finishes, so season 2 can pick up. And it's probably one of the best shows of the year so far. Got to see how it finishes. But only 2 episodes left, I believe, because 3, because there's 9 episodes in both seasons, so that's 18. So very much looking forward to how it finishes. I don't think it's as brutal or as groundbreaking as the Netflix show, because that showed more oomph to it, and Will Fisk was definitely more of a intense villain, where in this show he's getting there, but not as much.
And you asked me before, what's on my list I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
So I'm Severance. I need to finish season 2 and catch up. I know it's a show I'll like. I'm just kind of working my way through one show to move on to the next. So Severance is definitely on the list of things I want to watch by myself. What have you got on your list?
On mine?
Yeah, it's something you're looking forward to coming out, or something that's been on the back burners for a while. You're like, yeah, it's time to pull the trigger. I'm going to start watching this show.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming out is Last of Us.
Mm.
And a show that I'm looking forward to finally watching is probably Silo, actually.
Okay. When's the next season of Silo coming in?
Next year.
Okay.
Haven't watched season 2 yet.
So for me, I like the idea of having a sitcom that I can kind of work my way through, because generally 30 minutes, quick laugh, you can chuck it on, just before you're about to go to bed or in between shows, or you've got, 30 minutes before you got to leave the house, something easy to put on. So that for me has been Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I'm thinking the next show I want to have a crack at is called Eastbound and Down.
Okay.
So it stars, how did I lose his name? Very recognizable guy. Eastbound and Down. What's his name? Danny McBride.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe he's like an ex-professional baseball player. And then, I don't know, he's not anymore. Yeah, I've just seen lots of clips from this, and it's very, very funny. So I think I'll watch that. It 4 seasons. I think that might be a pretty easy watch. So I do enjoy Danny McBride. Something that's currently out, that's I think 2 seasons out now, is another show written and directed by him, Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, yeah.
So that's in the 4th and last season. So I will continue to work my way through that. Must say, the premise of the show seemed a lot more interesting than what it really was. I've enjoyed it enough to keep going, mainly because of the actors in it, but I don't think it's a show I'd recommend to other people, because the premise of, I think I've told you about this, it's about basically making a mockery of like a mega rich religious family that own all these big mega churches. And I thought that's a pretty interesting idea, and kind of seeing on what goes on behind there and the corruption, but it's not really. It goes beyond that. Like, they get involved with really wild things, and like the way they carry on and the violent things they do, and the swearing and that. And you go, not that they bother me, but I'm just like, nah, they're not religious. It doesn't even add up. Like, the fact that you try and claim that they're potentially like a mega church religious family, it's insane. There's no way they could be like that. The ploy is that the fact they're saying they're like bratty kids, and that's why they're that way, but their parents aren't. But yeah, I don't know. I've enjoyed it, but I don't think I'd recommend it to someone else if they didn't naturally get drawn to it themselves.
Isn't Walter Goggin in the show?
Walter Goggin is in it. I think he's one of the best characters in it. He doesn't feature too heavily, but yeah, he has a very funny role. So he's one of their cousins. And he's kind of like the outcast of the family that, is always like trying to sell, like make money, like he's selling miracle creams and like making albums because he's a singer. And he's like, he's kind of the outcast of the family that's not part of the mega rich part. He's just always like kind of begging them and hoping that they'll help him out. But he's kind of the hero of the show. Like, he doesn't do anything heroic, but he's the nice guy, the one you like, and he's very funny. So I enjoy Walter Goggins' performance in it.
Is he as good in it as in Fallout and other things he's in?
Yeah, on par. Very different role. This is probably more comedy-based opposed to...
serious?
Yeah. But yeah, he's very good in it.
And your most excited movie for April?
I'll go Sinners. Yourself?
Sinners as well, but the Death of the Unicorn definitely does look very interesting as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch a trailer for that. I'm not really sure what that's about yet.
Well, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the live stream, and have a good rest of your day. And as always, let the force be with you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.